think you're doing fantastic. I saw you yesterday in the arrivals, and you look like you're ready and set to go. How does it feel to be back?
It feels good to be back. This is a fight that I've been wanting for a long time. It's finally happened. So it's up to me to put on a great show and get the fans their money worth because everybody's gonna be tuning in and ordering this fight on Showtime pay-per-view. So I gotta make sure they definitely get their money's worth come Saturday night.
I agree. This is the one fight we've all been waiting for since we've been so critical of the sport itself, expecting the best to, fight the best. And for the first time in a long time, we have two top pound per pound. But for all intents and purposes, you are the solid 147. At one time, we still consider you the man to beat in welterweight. How does that work in your head?
It's something I don't really even think about. That we both went in it's the same weight limit. So I think he's grown into the weight a lot. He's been here for a few years, had a lot of fights here. So definitely grown into the weight. And I'm just excited just to put on another great show.
We're all excited and we're waiting for literally an explosive fight. And so I had the opportunity to see you fighting against Jordanis Ugas. There was no sign of rust or lethargy, nothing. There was no question that you were like tip-top shape, regardless of, the distance and the layoff. How do you handle that? How do you get away with that? How could you pull that off?
It's just being in the gym. I had 9-10 weeks to train. I was sparring 3 times a week. So, I don't believe in ring rust. I believe you're in the gym training and you're sparring 3 times a week. The gym is equivalent, sparring, supposed to be equivalent to being in the ring boxing. So watching that change when there's bright lights, there's a lot of people there. That don't change for me. That actually motivates me and makes me better. It makes me a better fighter. So that ring rust is to me is when, you're nervous because it's people watching you fight and the bright lights under you. For me, I'm not gonna get ring rust because people watching me. I'm gonna perform better because I want to put on a great show. I want to put on a great performance.
It seems like every time you get back into the ring, you're just that much better, that much stronger. Going back to the Sean Porter, then the unfortunate accident, then Danny Swift Garcia, then Jordanis Ugas, and where is the ceiling for Errol Spence Jr.?
I believe there's no ceiling. Especially after this fighting, once I move up to 154 pounds. But right now, it's just all about Terrence Crawford. It's all about, me fighting him come Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. So we just gotta make sure people order this fight and make sure people support this fight because this is an electrifying fight. If you're into combat sports and if you're not into combat sports, this is an exciting fight for not only the fans, but people outside of boxing who don't even tune in like that. For the casual fans too, this is basically for the sports fans to make sure they come with this fight on Showtime pay-per-view.
Now, going back to Bud, perhaps one of the most complete fighters we've seen in a long time as well. He brings a lot of tools. How do you see this fight developing?
I really don't know. I think it's a fill-out round, the first and second, and then someone might get caught with a shot, and then all hell gonna break loose. So, but it's definitely gonna be great entertaining fight while it lasts, or one guy holds up. But I can see me breaking him down and beating him.
Now, just going back, and I want to touch upon a personal matter. You getting back into the ring in practically perfect condition. Yet I could see there's a difference in you, in the way you carry yourself. Would you mind sharing with us what happened during that accident in your mind that even though it didn't affect you as a fighter, it did change something within you?
It definitely affected me as a fighter, but it just made me realize car crash just made me realize that I'm not invincible, and just made me sit down, and I had to sit down and just maybe put things in perspective and know that, you know, anything can happen and we living on borrowed time and life is fragile. So, you know, I definitely thought I had time for a lot of things, but, you know, it's all about family, friends, and people who was there for me, especially when I was, you know, in my bed nursing my wounds. My family was there to support me. You know, some of my close friends there to support me and my loved ones. So it's just for me, just being around them and always being around my kids and being around people who love me and really care for me, and not just care for me because I'm a boxer and I'm so called as family person, but care for me because they love me. And it just made me change my whole perspective on things. It just made me realize that, you know, I'm here to take care of my kids and my family, and I want to get them best out of be them the best out of life. And I can do that. You know, I was wasting my talents and my abilities doing stuff that didn't appeal to me on a positive manner.
You touched upon your son, and we just had a picture of you with your son, and he was so enthralled and focused on you. How does it feel to have him in this fight, being next to you, you know, thinking this is perhaps the biggest fight of 2023 and perhaps in the last decade?
It means a lot because I feel like a lot of guys, especially when you see in the older generation, they never had their kids around. Like those guys had, you know, 9, 10 kids, and you didn't see not one kid in training camp with them. So they got to hear it from somebody else or hear about somebody older about their father. But my son, you know, he's right there. My daughters, they always been in the gym with me, seeing me train and watching me and being around. So they getting filmed by Showtime, getting pictures and things. So they get to see this stuff. They get to be there for this stuff. Even if he don't know right now, he'll know once he get older that, you know, he was there, and he'll see the pictures and videos and get to share it and show his friends and show, you know, his future kids that, you know, he was there, he was at the fights, he was there doing the training camp. So that means a lot, just being there with him, bonding with him. You know, he's super attached to his mother, so her not being around, you know, we get more close, and he get more attached to me. So it's just a great feeling.
I thought it was a beautiful picture, and I think it's fantastic. I had the opportunity to ask this to Terrence Crawford. You both are writing your own chapters in the history books of boxing, and I'm gonna ask you as well, if you had one word to describe the legacy, your legacy in boxing, how would you describe it?
I want to be one of those guys, you know, like Lennox Lewis, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. I was De La Hoya. I want to be one of those guys who left boxing and took care of himself financially. And I want to lead this sport, you know, financially sound. I want to lead this sport, you know, with my head on my shoulders, my head not down. I don't want boxing to push me out of boxing. I want to get out of boxing on my own accord and know that, you know, my family financially set, I'm financially set, and I done everything I had to do in boxing, and boxing and wash me up, and boxing and use me. I use boxing.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see you back in the ring. It's going to be a pleasure again. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.